What's up, weeps? Today, I want to talk about something that will genuinely mess with your head. If you're someone who is afraid of the dark, like me, this manga will be your worst nightmare. Because imagine being stuck in the darkness, surrounded by death, and no idea if the world you once knew still exists out there. There's no law, there's no society, no purpose, just darkness. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I am talking about Minetaro Mochizuki's psychological horror manga Dragonhead. And to be honest, this is one of the best manga I've read this year. The characters, the environment. Dragonhead isn't just your cute little horror story with weird jump scares and awfully predictable endings. Like, seriously, what the hell was that last Conjuring movie? Do they even make good horror movies anymore? Dragonhead, on the other hand, slowly crawls into your brain and makes you extremely uncomfortable because it just won't tell you what's happening at all. It's a philosophical nightmare that forces you to confront what happens when all our little comfortable illusions about life's inherent purpose is stripped away. So, set in the late 1990s, Dragonhead begins with what's most like the most claustrophobic opening. Our protagonist Teru Aoki is on a train with his classmates heading home from his school trip when everything's normal until it isn't. The train enters a tunnel and then suddenly everything went dark. Teru wakes up in a derailed train within a collapsed tunnel surrounded by darkness and the bodies of his classmates. Among dozens of dead classmates, only two other students survive, and they are Akoseto and Nobuo Takahashi. Just three teenagers trying to survive something even they don't understand. Nobuo slowly becomes more and more consumed by his fear of the dark until finally he gives in to his madness. He paints himself in this creepy looking makeup and starts attacking Ako and Teru, but eventually he gets swallowed by the filling up steam and the darkness of the tunnel while Ako and Teru escape through the ventilation shafts. But their struggles don't just end there, because after escaping the tunnel, they discover a world that's quite broken. The landscape is ravaged, ash falls from the sky like snow, and the sun is like barely visible. There's still no answer about actually what happened. They encounter other survivors along their journey, some very helpful and others who have abandoned whatever humanity they ever had. Their journey takes them through this increasingly nightmarish scenarios like natural disasters, encountering cults, all while experiencing the sinister hallucinations and psychological breakdowns until they finally reach Tokyo, a place they thought would be somewhat helpful, but it turned out to be a ghost town just like any other, if not worse. The name Dragonhead comes from this picture of Mount Fuji erupting and these people with scar on their head who have forgotten what fear is and are hurting themselves in search of fear. Now that we've got the plot out of the way, let's talk about what makes Dragonhead a good horror. Because the horror of Dragonhead isn't found in traditional monsters, right? It's found in its unflinching nihilistic landscape. At its core, nihilism is that philosophical position that life has no inherent meaning or purpose or values. It suggests that our moral principles, social beliefs, religious beliefs are nothing but these artificial, convenient constructs we have created to make our life on Earth a bit more bearable. And the post-apocalyptic world of Dragonhead is a free real estate for nihilistic themes. When everything familiar is destroyed, when social order collapses, when even the basic knowledge of what happened to the world is unreliable, the characters are forced to confront the possibility that everything they might have known to give life meaning may not be real. And that is absolutely terrifying in a way no jump scare could ever be. Dragonhead relentlessly explores the idea that without society's eyes upon people, they make choices that reveal who they really are. Like when Nobuo quickly abandoned empathy in the tunnel and started attacking others in order to survive, or when ordinary people formed cults, exploit others, or retreat into madness. This perfectly illustrates nihilism's darkest implication that without external morality or meaning, humans are free to define their own values. And that freedom is terrifying. As Teru and the others travel through this meaningless landscape, their minds begin to crack, like hallucinations become more and more real, their memories become unreliable. Basically, when nothing is making sense externally, your internal coherence will also collapse. Your mind can literally stop functioning in a world that's meaningless. Also, can we take a moment to appreciate Mochizuki's art, please? Because this man knows how to use negative space, perspective, incredible pacing to create tension. Just look at these landscapes. And as the story progresses, the art becomes more and more chaotic. Like you cannot rest even for a second. It feels like the manga itself is having a breakdown. Look, Dragonhead may not be as internationally famous as some other horror mangas, right? But what makes Dragonhead stand the test of time is that its fear is very primal and universal. It's the fear of darkness, it's the fear of being lost, it's the fear that our social structures are fucking paper thin. What Minetaro Mochizuki created isn't just a horror story, it's an exploration of humanity pushed to its limits. If you haven't read Dragonhead, I cannot promise you will enjoy it, because enjoying it isn't really the right emotion, but I promise it will affect you. Dragonhead reminds us that sometimes the most terrifying monsters aren't really these supernatural creatures or serial killers. It's the darkness among ourselves, the fragility of human civilization, and the vast unknown that surrounds our little tiny island of understanding. Well, this was quite philosophical. I honestly don't know much about these terms like nihilism or absurdism. It's just as I was reading Dragonhead and seeing these people crumble and become these weird creatures as the more society collapses, it reminded me of nihilism, like the brief description, whatever I knew, and the description kind of matched. So I will go read more about nihilism and Nietzsche, and we'll meet again in the next video. Till then, see ya. I hope I pronounced Nietzsche right. Nietzsche. I don't know.